Hey there, Devon here, just hopping on real quick to share a practice with you. Really, more than that, it's a perspective shift. It's an invitation to think about self-care and to think about the ways that you are showing up for yourself in a whole different way. So you sent me some PMs. It was about, which one describes you the best, and I gave three options. It was like my self-care and showing up for myself is sustainable, and I'm doing it every day, no matter what. Another option was, I'll do it, and then I'll stop doing the things when I'm feeling okay, and then when I start to feel a little stressed or burnt out, I'll start to do them again. And the final option was like, I just don't do it, and I feel stressed and burnt out all the time. So, I really, really, really want to impart upon you this notion, this invitation that taking care of yourself doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be hard or overly time consuming or any of these other beliefs that we have or that we are taught by a very capitalistic world that wants to sell us things. It wants to sell us gizmos and gadgets and trackers and like earthing mats and all of these crazy things that kind of make us feel like we're not measuring up. Like our self care must not be as good because I don't have the latest gizmo or gadget. So why bother? Or it gives us this idea that it's reserved for those that can afford those things or those that whose life or lifestyles may offer them some more free time or whatever the case is. I really invite us all to get out of that thinking, to get out of this idea that sustainably showing up for ourselves and caring for ourselves has to be hard, mysterious, expensive, sexy, any of that stuff, because it's just not true. And so back to what I was asking you guys the other day, let's start with this premise real quick that like self-care is a basic human necessity. And we get to define what that looks like, what that means for us, based on a variety of factors, based on our our age, based on the season of life that we're in, based on the external seasons, based on whatever's happening for us in our lives. Is it a stressful time? Is it more of an easeful time? And we get to adapt and meet ourselves with what we need. The thing is, as deep feelers, as sensitive beings, we are in bodies whose nervous systems are a little bit more delicate than perhaps other people. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to acknowledge, honor, accept that, embrace that, and then show up for that. Otherwise, burnout, stress, and all of these things that continue to show up in our lives, like the overthinking and the overdoing and the constant worry and all of this, is because our nervous systems, our bodies are like freaking out, right? And so then we tie that in with the whole idea, like I was saying, that self-care is this unattainable crazy thing. And so then we're just kind of like, well, why bother? And then the cycle repeats itself over and over again. So let's break that cycle, and I invite you to step into this way of thinking, if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, then thank you for watching, and you can leave it. um Something I teach in my program, the InnerSpark Method, is this idea of the daily feelings container. Okay? The DFC. And it is this way of showing up for yourself every day and adapting to what you find. So rather than putting pressure on yourself to think that caring for yourself has to look a certain way, it's not self care if it's not these activities with this gizmo or gadget or tracker, so why bother? It's letting go of that kind of all or nothing thinking, letting go of that, just that whole way of viewing caring for ourselves, and instead setting time every day, like 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. We all have 10 minutes. I can't tell you how many chunks of 10-minute time blocks we have that are taken up by like scrolling on social media or doing things that we should have said no to. Our bodies were like, say no to this, but instead our people pleasing was like, oh, sure, I can do that. right? So you have 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes. Take 10 minutes and just be. And really listen, like, what do you need? What do you actually need? What would actually serve you in this moment? So giving yourself that space to actually hear yourself is the highest form of caring for yourself, the highest form of self-care. And so then you have these containers that you set for yourself. I got this 10 minutes. I'm checking in, I'm meeting myself. And then what's needed? Right? And you kind of cultivate this toolkit for yourself. And those are, again, things that I teach in my program. So we have these tools and these resources, and so we kind of know, like, I'm feeling this way today, right now, and so I need X, and then we meet that need. I need Y, meet that need. So it's a very fluid, adaptable, intuitive way of being with yourself, and it gets out of this whole overcomplicated mindset and belief that things have to look a certain way. So try that. I challenge you to try this for like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. Eventually it'll just become a lifelong daily habit. So giving yourself that container, and you get to set it, right? 10 minutes, maybe it's 20, whatever you have. Keep it consistent. Bonus if it's like the same time every day. Your nervous system loves routine, loves consistency. Showing up and just being. No sound, no gadgets or gizmos, gadgets. None of that. Just you and being there. Highest form of self-care. Let me know how it goes. Mwah!